Hey, what's up everybody? Code Monkey Mike here. So a lot of you folks in my previous video sent me messages asking about the insulation I was using. Not that I want this to be a home improvement channel, but I figured, yeah, I can talk about some of the insulation. It's rather interesting stuff when I started researching it. Side note from our sponsor, Shaquille O'Neal. Thanks, man. We love you, bro. Ha! Just kidding. But really, in my last video, I challenged myself that I would get a brand new office chair if I got a certain number of subscribers. Remember, YouTube had sent me an email congratulating me for getting a whopping 15 whole subscribers in the entire year of 2020. Whoa! So I did, and I got a total of 85 subscribers. So thank you! I got this nice new office chair, the Shaquille O'Neal office chair from the Office Depot. As noted on the OfficeDepot.com website, it says, enjoy the luxurious style, premium comfort, and high-end support from our new line of Shaquille O'Neal executive seating and exclusively from the Office Depot. Features include an extended headrest, deep comfortable seats with Shaq Comfort seat construction, flexible lumbar support with the ergonomic support technology, and much more. They're big on style, big on comfort, Shaq approved, and just right for the long days at the office or home office. And I have this due to subscribers like you. Thanks, guys. I love you guys. See, this right here is Rockwool insulation. Very, very interesting stuff. And here's the usually traditional fiberglass. A little bit cheaper right down here. Yeah, so this is the fiberglass insulation. Then this is the interesting stuff. So what I've been doing here, the original buy was this fiberglass insulation, which is normally what most people buy. It is cheaper than other insulation products, and it is pretty standard. But there are a lot of things that, a lot of negatives about it. So what I've been doing, I've been taking down a lot of this fiberglass that I've put into these cavities in between these studs, right? And because there's space between, I would say, behind the studs and the siding of the barn, so I've been putting in some extra insulation. It'll help a great deal if, because we're dealing with the electric heat, right? So, just space heaters. So, let me talk more about this. So this is where it gets interesting. Now, all insulation has R values, right? So it's a resistance, right? Resistance to heat or cold. So a lot of the, let's say the insulation that goes into the outer walls, they'll have a certain depth, right? And it would typically be R19 of fiberglass that goes in here, but you get more resistance from the Rockwool. It would be up to R23, so that's much better. A few more things about the Rockwool versus the fiberglass is that the fiberglass is usually doused in formaldehyde, right? So it's usually it's unhealthy. So that doesn't happen with the Rockwool. So that's 2 points right now. Greater resistance. Is not doused with formaldehyde and then other things. Include, this is excellent for soundproofing. So phenomenal when we want to soundproof walls. That's another thing good about Rockwool. I saw this, and I can't find it right now. I can't really find it, but there was another video on YouTube where there was a guy inside of a room. There was insulated with Rockwool, and he was in a trade show, so it was extremely noisy on the outside, and he was describing how he could hardly hear it on the outside. It's like very low, but you go outside, it's a noisy show, right? Also, in that same video, there was a chunk of this Rockwool on display. So there was a chunk of it on display, and people were passing by, and on one side of it, there was a blowtorch blowing the flame right into it, right? And people on the other side, they were coming up to it, and they were putting their hands on it, and just the blowtorch wouldn't burn it, and the people couldn't even feel the heat on the other side. That's how awesome this stuff is. So it's a little bit more expensive, but It does an awesome job. So why would you want to spend like 30% more for something like that? It is amazing. There are other options when it comes to this is going to sound more like obviously it's not a coding video, right? It's almost like a home improvement video, but I guess it's also going to sound a lot like a health video, because a lot of installations out there are very unhealthy, right? We have the fiberglass. Although I did have an installation person tell me that there's a blown version of it. You go up into an attic and you have this machine and you blow it out. So there's a blown version of Rockwool where it blows out in pieces like all over an attic. And they do that with fiberglass as well. And they said that this guy was explaining that it's even better than the Rockwool in terms of that, because this has particles. Something like disseminates, it emits particles in the air or something like that. And that version of it was particle free and didn't have formaldehyde. So he was like, "Oh, okay, maybe that's pretty good for attic insulation. Who knows?" But there are others. There is spray foam, which people typically say to stay away because of the chemicals that it emits. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can see here, right? This spray foam is like regular small spray foam, something like that, but they have it versions where it would just fill. You spray it in, and it will just fill everything, right? So I hear a lot of chemical engineers and people know their stuff. Say stay away from that. There's other versions. I don't know what's worth talking about. Hemp, yeah, they make insulation out of hemp, which is very healthy. It's called hempcrete and all these weird marketing terms of it. I think that hemp is starting to make a comeback in the U.S. They had previously banned it for the most part because it looked exactly like marijuana, even though it wasn't. So it was indistinguishable from helicopter, people growing weed or whatever. But yeah, so there are a lot of different options. And personally, I think that Rockwool is really great in terms of its resistance to fire, its R value for its depth, and also the soundproofing. There's no chemicals and so on. It comes in bags like this, right? So it's called bats. For anybody who doesn't know anything about this stuff. And to give you the rundown of what Rockwool is actually the company name. The type of insulation is called mineral wool. Rockwool just happens to be the most common company to make mineral wool insulation. So it turns out that Rockwool and mineral are almost synonymous, right? So people think of it in the same way. It's almost like saying Clorox for bleach. It's made of rock. More specific, rock is melted down at about 3,000 degrees into like a magma-like liquid, and then somehow it's spun around like cotton candy into these long fiber-like strands. So here's a rundown. Number one, it's made from natural material. Number two, it's up to 75% recycled material. Number three, it actually retains heat and the transfer of heat, which is also responsible for its soundproofing properties. Number four, it's fire resistant for up to 1,500 degrees. Woohoo! Now that's hot. Number five, it's water repellent. Number six, it's sound deadening. So yeah, going back to soundproofing. Number seven, there's more insulation and more value per square inch than that of the most common fiberglass. Number seven, it pretty much it pretty much lasts forever. I remember I was watching a YouTube video where the first building in Paris was being renovated and some walls were being torn down, and it was like one of the first buildings to ever use mineral wool, and they took it out of the walls and it seemed like it was a brand new product. And so yeah, who knows how long it could officially last, because that was like 50 years ago. So amazing. Number 9, it allows moisture to escape, which actually deters mold. Number 10, they actually fit in nice and snug. They can be tucked in. They're not like fiberglass where they fall over and you have to staple them in. They're actually pretty good that way. Very nice, very easy to install. You don't have to staple all over the place. And that snugness allows for less air to go around the insulation as it's in the wall, right? And in the cavities between the studs, right? And best of all, it's not doused in flame retardant, formaldehyde, or other chemicals, so it's perfectly healthy. And so whether you want to be a code monkey, or whether you want to be a code monkey and write JavaScript all day, or if you just want to sit in your living room, you can rest assured that there isn't any harmful chemical just emanating from your walls waiting to get you. Oh yeah. If mom and dad want to have any fun at nighttime, the kids won't hear anything if you use an R15 in your interior walls. You're welcome. Thanks for watching, and if you're still watching, do me a favor and click on that subscribe button.